Welcome to Comical Recovery. I am your host with the most trauma, comedian Jessica Byrne, creator of the upcoming cartoon Bud Ease, winner of multiple East Coast comedy contests, and 35 consecutive years of life experience in the School of Hard Knocks. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel, hit the like button for recognition, tell all your friends about your new addiction. Because sharing is caring. And we're going to try something a little bit new. Definitely new to me. Sorry if I turned away from the microphone. But I am recording this at a weird time where everyone in the insane asylum that I call my apartment complex is home. So I'm trying to block out the local crazies. The only crazy you get is me. You're welcome. So, I've got a little ocean sound in the background. God willing, that'll work. But you know what? We're just going to see how it goes. Because I had to try something a little different. I've been missing you guys for a couple of weeks now. I finally got COVID. 2 years in running, and I finally got it. It caught up with me, it caught me, and it pinned me down for a couple of weeks. So, I am back, feeling well, isolated, went into a little bit of insanity. That was interesting, but it brought me material for this, for everyone. So today's topic is depression. Remember, showering is overrated anyhow, and sleeping until tomorrow seems like a perfectly reasonable solution to all of my problems today. And if I sleep to Law and Order, then somewhere in the back of my background of my mind, justice prevails. If you can't tell, I'm just a skosh nervous. I feel like I'm doing this for the first time. But this is part of depression. It's not completely over. It's still lingering within my crazy brain. And I just have to push through it so that the voices are a little less loud. Generally speaking, how depression happens for me is I am just stuck in my head with all of these insane thoughts. I'm trying to find the right sound, volume, whatever, for all this background noise I got going on. But that's the insanity, you know? The insanity is when I'm in my sick brain, I find every single little detail that is disruptive to the process. And it's obnoxious. It's so obnoxious. I decided to go ahead with this topic for a couple of reasons. I have a couple of friends that are apparently going through the same thing. And it's always those moments where I'm newly inspired to get back out and talk about a topic because, you know, that's part of depression is these thoughts in my head saying, you're the only one going through this. You're the only one that feels this way. And I'm not. We all feel this way sometimes. Sometimes it's for a reason, like we've lost a pet or a family member or a job or finances or a lover. And sometimes it's for no reason at all. Sometimes it's because you were stuck in the house for 2 weeks being sick and you just start to isolate. You don't want to answer the phone because nobody can come over anyways. And you don't want to eat because that's too much work. And you don't want to shower because nobody's coming over anyways. It's a downward spiral of like this giant dirty yellow snowball. We all know what I'm talking about when I say yellow. Maybe brown too. I'm trying not to go too dark into blue comedy here, for those that know what that means. And for those that don't, that means gross jokes. So I'm going to try to stay not gross or whatever. I don't even know. All I can say for sure is it's time for action. That's how I know that I need to get out of depression. And my uncle, who's sober 4 years, we used to be drinking buddies. He had all these awesome suggestions for me that I knew worked. Meditate, go for a walk, all this stuff that I know it works. It's a good suggestion, but when you're in it, at least for me, I am like a 3-year-old that you want to eat their broccoli. No, it's not going to happen. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm committed to not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's how I feel. I feel like a child having a tantrum. And I just want the tantrum. I want the attention from the tantrum. I want the resistance. I want to feel the anger. And I want to indulge in the negative thought process until my thoughts get a little bit too dark. And then I want to start crawling out of the hole. But by that time, sometimes it's too late. So, I had been talking to a couple of friends, and a lot of this topic came up about feeling inadequate. When I got past a certain point in my sickness and in my depression, and I couldn't use my voice to podcast, I absolutely felt inadequate. I didn't want to look at the statistics and the numbers. I didn't want to advertise. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just felt like a waste of space. And finally, enough people reached out to me, or something happened where there was like a little glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. For me, depression goes from like a cement slab, completely unmovable, to a brick wall that I have the ability to take a sledgehammer and chip away one brick at a time. And I think that it's easy for us as a society to get into a depression because of all these illnesses that are going around, whether it's the stomach flu or COVID or a cold, I don't know. I mean, other more serious things definitely can put you in a downward spiral of negative thoughts. But for me, what laid heavy on me was finances, especially when you have a couple of weeks that you're just stuck at home and you're not capable of working, that can weigh really heavy on the shoulders of anyone to be put in a financial pinch. Plus, as we all are very painfully aware of prices going up. And then I'm stuck in a house where I can hear my neighbors. I don't know if you can hear her screaming at her child. But the walls are cement here. So that tells you how loud and obnoxious this woman next door chooses to be so that she can acquire attention. And it's quite sickening to me. But I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder with narcissistic personalities, and that is absolutely on the roster of things to talk about, but not today. So part of the whole depression scheme, this recent batch of it, was a greater awareness. As we all know, I'm sober and I don't have any fun extracurriculars to use to, God help me. I'm going to try to turn up the waves so that we can all have some peace in our lives. And I'm going to get off track because, like I said, the idiot next door is screaming at her child. It's the only way she communicates. And I'm not much for yelling or fighting, but when it comes to that particular situation next door with my neighbor, I do love to indulge in being passive aggressive. Typically, I would put on country music so we'd both be tortured, and I just would like to drown out the sound of her voice, but I have waves on, so God help us all that that'll be more soothing than the disruption of this idiot next door. So that was depressing to deal with that on a regular basis. Plus, she likes to fornicate in the middle of the night and wake me out of a dead sleep with moans and groans and disgusting, unpalatable behaviors, which typically I don't mind. But I do not know when we as a society decided that that should be everyone's business and not a private matter to keep to ourselves. Like I said, I'm going to be a little off track today. In sobriety, they talk about three things going for, not first, but three things go, and they go in this order. They go, first you lose your serenity, then you lose your sanity, then you lose your sobriety, and like I said, I'm sober, so I don't have anything that I use to distract my mind when I'm in a deep depression. All I have is reflection, which is great because awareness is key. And that way I can move forward and come up with solutions that are actually useful for long-term change. And the couple of things that I came up with was, it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to raise a person in recovery. Whatever you're recovering from, I think that a network or a fellowship or a group of people that are your friends and your support system, whatever you want to call that, is key to inhibit a better life and positive changes. And buddy system, I have a buddy that I walk with, and we finally got back to walking today. Unfortunately, my buddy system led me to get my buddy sick. And so we both had COVID for 2 weeks. But we're back in our walking routine, and man, does that help with my sanity. Now, I said before, my uncle suggested that I take a walk, and I live in a neighborhood that, like I said, the complex is like an insane asylum, and I don't want to walk around here. Oddly enough, I don't want to get hit on by strangers or asked for change or asked if I'm good, which means, do I want drugs? No, I don't. So I stay inside while I'm here. And because of all the crazy stuff that happens around here, that can be really depressing. I'm trying to have a format for this podcast and get it out on a timely basis, on a regular basis, have a schedule, and everything around me is unpredictable at times. So like I said, I'm trying something new with the waves. I think that it might be okay, and it might be as distracting as it is for me, as it is for you, but hopefully we don't hear the psycho next door screaming at her kid about his basic needs. He's 4, by the way. I can't stand her. Just saying. It's hard to be self-motivated as it is, and then you can have all these obstacles in your life, not in your way, but just in your life, that you have to navigate. I don't think it's impossible to navigate the system, but it can be a lonely boat ride. I'm rowing the boat alone most of the time. And then I have obstacles like my crazy neighbors. I think the time alone to reflect can be a good thing. I recognized that meditation was probably a good suggestion and started using it in the evenings so that I don't hear my crazy neighbors and get woken up by disturbing intimate acts. Or at least don't get woken up as much. Sometimes that has the opposite effect for me. Sometimes I want to argue with meditation and affirmations. Recently, it had an insomniatic effect where my mind was just on fire with thoughts and ideas. I also have put all things comedy on my Instagram and Tumblr or whatever page, TikTok. Sorry, I'm old, guys. Not like real old, like actual old, because to me that's a whole different age. But like to children, I'm old. So I forget things like TikTok and Tumblr is I don't even know what age group that's for. I just downloaded all the things, okay? So I put some comedy on there because laughter is the best medicine, as we all know. And I needed that as a pick-me-up. So affirmations, going on my morning walk on the beach where it's safe. There are a few little weirdos out there, but as long as there's two of us weirdos, I'm not afraid of the single weirdos. It's not like over here in this neck of the woods. Another thing I realized that was bothering me is I had this negative spiraling thought of all the things I couldn't do. I can't go to yoga right now, not only because I was sick, but because I didn't have any clean clothes because I've been going to hot yoga. And every single time you leave, your clothes are saturated with sweat. So it's not something that you, or at least me, I don't want to wear those again. No. So just like meeting your basic needs, and then like I said, the financial compact, whatever, on top of meeting your basic needs like groceries and laundry, and being sick and not being able to leave for those things can really put a damper on your mind, making you feel inadequate and guilty. Feel guilty, not that you are guilty. And how do you talk yourself out of that stuff? Make a pros and cons list. Make a what ifs list if good things happen. Those are some golden nuggets from therapy. You're welcome. I'm trying to combat the waves that are heard in the background with the thoughts that are attacking my mind with all the things happening around me. And I'm just glad that I'm getting back into the routine. Like I said, I missed you guys. To have integrity is very important to me. To keep on a timely schedule and to meet my goals is very important to me. And not being able to do that because I was sick was putting me in a serious funk that I really didn't know how to get back on the wagon. So here we are. We're back on the podcasting wagon with all the chaos that is my life in a happy little compact box delivered from me to you today. Because that's all I got. All I have is this potential solution to have waves in the background so that I'm not losing the little bit of sanity that I have listening to the neighbor or the people outside with their music loud, or the psychotic, abusive boyfriend down the hall with a pregnant girlfriend or wife or whatever she is. Like I said, I live in what is very similar to an insane asylum, and I would know because I've been there a couple of times. Yes. So, that's what I have for today. I don't know if it made sense, but guess what I did? I did a thing called podcasting, and it's done. Now I don't have to worry about it. Now I have to feel guilty, and I don't have to feel inadequate because I did the best that I could, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back for more soon, and hopefully it will be better or different or something, but the only thing that really matters is that it will be. That's what matters. It will be. Consistency is what my goal is. That's what I'm after. And that is basically all I can promise you. And even that is a little bit of a shaky promise, because who knows what life has in store for me that may be a little obstacle to get back at it. What I can say is I will do my best to not let it be my mind, and let that be an asset, not a liability. So for today, I'm leaving you with all of those things as thoughts to dance around in your mind. Thank you for listening, sharing, subscribing, and passing me around like your favorite doobie, because I miss that. Remember, laughter is the best medicine and sharing is caring. See you next time for more comical recovery with your friend and host, comedian Jessica Byrne.